The following program is brought to you by HKS Entertainment. Tonight, our starring guest is the owner of the world's most beloved cashew nut brand, Nuts4u. She managed to learn how to export from a young age and made her dream come true with hard work and creativity. I'm your host, David Cornell, and I present you Victoria Plescott.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. I feel really flattered.
Dear Ms. Plescott, we're the ones who are flattered to have you here sharing with us your story of success. We're all very curious to know how you made the exporting dream into an importing success. And we also know that this is something you can't learn in one day. If I may ask, how did it all start?
Well, it all started with some market research. I wanted to import cashews to Europe and I needed to find out where to buy it from and who to sell it to. So I chose to begin with importing from Ivory Coast to Bulgaria. In the beginning, when I started around 10 years ago in 2021, nobody was paying attention to Africa. Vietnam and India were the export leaders, and according to my marketing research, I saw that the market in Africa was actually growing, and that's why I chose to start sourcing from there.
Apparently you got it very right. Could you describe to us why you think Africa has become a strong exporter of cashews?
Sure. So for a long time, Africa was not very popular among cashew export. Due to the lack of technology and automation, and other countries, especially in Asia, were preferred for that. But the thing is, with some initiatives, like for example the UN's Farm to Fork, some companies and investors started to understand that Africa was actually a really potential player in the cashew market. So they started to invest in new technologies and farming techniques and fair trade and doing good for the people, also for the farmers. So actually over time, Africa became the top exporter because you can do very nice quality cashews, inexpensive prices, and really fair traded and ethical practices as well.
That sounds quite all right. And then you settled for Bulgaria to be your place of export, is that right? Why? Do you have Bulgarian roots?
No, I'm from South America. Actually, Bulgaria was my intention to begin with because I wanted to reach Eastern European countries. The annual import growth rate of Eastern countries was even higher than Western countries since 2013. So there was a lot of market for that and not a lot of people were realizing this. And actually Bulgaria had a very stable financial situation. By the time Bulgaria had a debt to GDP ratio of around 1/6 of US level, so that's pretty good. And also it had only like a 10% corporate rate tax. So that's why I decided to plant my flag in there and all my goods first arrived in Bulgaria.
Sounds like a master plan. Interesting. So what was the first step you took to start?
So my first step was to open a company in Bulgaria. This was necessary in order for me to take care of my license, my importer license. And with I needed to pay the taxes for the Bulgarian tax agency. And I needed to use a very unique EORI code. And this is like a number that helps me to do the communication with all the custom and government agencies related to the import and export. Also, in this process of opening the company, I then needed to choose my supplier. So in Ivory Coast, I looked everywhere for a supplier until I found the best one.
So you contacted farmers in the Ivory Coast directly who could produce cashew nuts and hired their services?
No, not in my case. I mean, of course you could do it, right? You could go to a farm in Ivory Coast and ask directly the farmer for him or her to source your product, but that was not my case. This could be for sure cheaper, but also you don't have any type of insurance or any type of security in this process. So when importing and exporting, we always have two sides of the same coin. In my side, as the importer, I have to take care of the products legally and very professionally from the border to the country. But I also needed to find a supplier and a partner who did the same from the side of the exporter. So in my case, I did work with a trading company, and I really recommend that, especially if you're beginning, because they take care of all the legal and documents, processes, and also they ensure you with consistent supply. They responsibilize for good parts of your deal. So yeah, that's definitely one option.
Makes sense. So after you found your supplier, what did you do next?
Contract. That's the contract part. So in a contract, you have to put very accurate information. You have to put the date where you and your partner first had the deal. You have to have product specification, like the harmonized system code, that is the code, the official name of your product. You have to have the size, the count, the nutritional value, if any chemical additives apply, seasonal variations. You need to put in the payment terms. You need to define who is liable for what based on Incoterms. You need to define insurance, shipment details, freight forwarder, and also how the container of your product should be. So if my product is coming overseas, then how does the container have to be, and so that the cashew comes here safely? It's a lot.
Sounds like a lot of bureaucracy.
Yeah, but wait until you hear about all the documents and declarations you need in order to enter the EU. So first of all, when your goods arrive, before they arrive, actually, you have to provide the ENS, that's the Entry Summary Declaration, and well, that we will have to show to the customs in Bulgaria. After this, there is the SAD as a single administrative document, and in the SAD, that's accepted all over Europe, and you have in there, it's already included all the custom duties and VAT and additional fees and taxes that it might apply to your product. There are also several health, safety, technical, sustainable certificates that some products require. So yeah, that's a lot of bureaucracy.
All right. And when you finally got all this right and you're ready to export.
So after custom cleared, my products were free to circulate all over Europe. Yay! So in this process, depending on what is your market entry, I would recommend you finding an agent. In my case, as I was quite familiar with Bulgaria, I didn't have to, but an agent can help you finding the right buyers or help you with the language, with the culture, so that's definitely a good bet.
I guess you needed some help with the Bulgarian language then. So when you finally received the product in Bulgaria, what did you do?
Yeah, so when they arrive in Bulgaria and they arrive in my company, then I needed to take care of all the processments, for example, roasting, salting, according to my demand. And now comes sales. So marketing mix and risk management is also a big part of the importing plan, because when you are importing something from other countries, then natural disasters they have to be in your attention, and you have to do a very daily proactive market analysis to understand how the prices go. You have to take care of seasonal demands. So for example, when it's Christmas, I know that I will have a lot of demand with my beautiful cashews. So yeah, all of this make part of the mix of importing and exporting, and sales is really important as well, and it should be very well taken care of.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Victoria Plescott, CEO and founder of Nuts4u, sharing her success story with all of us. Let's show some appreciation for her tonight. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, David. And thank you all. Thank you, IMC. Without you, I wouldn't have done it. Thank you. friends, thank you my family, thank you my brother, thank you everyone. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Nuts for you.